by Mickey Barnes. Full article and links at OregonAviationWatch.org. Lawsuit filed on behalf of family whose house was destroyed by a training aircraft crash. On September 18, 2025, attorneys representing Chris and Jana Ferris and their children filed a complaint, including a demand for a jury trial, seeking $18 million for negligence and trespass. Nearly 2 years have elapsed since the residence of the Ferris family, located in Newberg, Oregon, was rendered unlivable after an aircraft registered to Hillsborough Aero Academy crashed into their home. This lawsuit speaks to the tremendous anguish and upheaval experienced by those whose lives are forever changed by the increasing number of aircraft accidents that destroy homes, release toxins, and leave a trail of lethality, serious injury, and destruction in their wake. The lawsuit states, in this action, plaintiffs Chris Ferris and Jana Ferris seek recovery of compensatory damages for the total destruction of their real property, including their family home and yard, damage to their personal property, trespass, and emotional distress damages on behalf of themselves and their 3 minor children arising from defendants' aircraft smashing into their home on October 3, 2023, as well as past and future expenses flowing from the destruction of their home and rebuilding their home. Their eldest daughter, Bethany Ferris, who is now 18, also seeks recovery of compensatory damages. As documented in the complaint, on the evening when the accident occurred, Chris and Jana Ferris were outside the front of their house, watching their 2 youngest children play with a neighborhood friend. The Ferris' 2 teenage daughters, 16 and 15 at the time, along with the family dog, were inside the home. Their then 9-year-old son was approaching the front door to enter the house, and their youngest child, then age 6, was playing in the front yard. The crash, trauma, terror, and ongoing aftermath. Below are some statements from the complaint describing the suffering and loss the Ferris family has endured as a result of this accident. Immediately following the crash, Chris Ferris, fearful for the fate of his eldest daughters, ran inside the home and found his daughters sobbing and running towards the front door along with the family's dog. The interior of the home looked like a bomb went off. The plane crashed through the roof like a missile and hit the kitchen and bedrooms and structural support beams. The house smelled of plane fuel mixed with other noxious odors. Insulation was raining down through the entry, the living room, the kitchen, and their youngest children's bedroom. The force of the subject aircraft crashing into their home destroyed its structural integrity, and it was damaged beyond repair. The home is uninhabitable. In addition to the destruction of the Ferris' home, their yard was damaged by the aircraft and the removal of the aircraft from their property. Investigation continues as to whether soil remediation is necessary due to the fuel and other contaminants which escaped from the aircraft. Because their home was destroyed due to the negligence of the defendants, Chris and Jana Ferris have had to move their family 6 times in 21 months into various rentals. All of their children have had to change schools. They've had to drive long distances, and there has been financial and emotional strain on the family. Since the crash, members of the Ferris family have suffered nightmares, difficulty sleeping, and bouts of insomnia, requiring prescribed sleep medication, depression, anxiety, mental anguish, and fear when aircraft pass overhead. Chris Ferris has also lost his employment due to the magnitude of this event on his family's life and the immense amount of time and energy he has to devote to rebuilding their life. Defendants include Flight School Airlines. Defendants named in the suit are Hillsborough Aero Academy, HAA, the owner of the multi-engine Piper N8360K that crashed into the Ferris' home. JA operates a flight training school out of the Hillsborough Airport Ascend Pilot Academy APA, described as a joint venture, partnership, or association between Alaska, Horizon, and HAA. APA requires enrollment in HAA's pilot training program. Horizon Air, APA, offers a stipend to student pilots accepted into the program. In exchange, accepted cadets are required to spend a minimum of 2 years of full employment as a first officer with Horizon. Alaska Airlines, Horizon funnels pilots to Alaska after they have completed their 2-year commitment. Estate of Barrett Bevacqua. Bevacqua was the student pilot who perished in the accident. He was receiving instructional training through HAA and APA. At the time the crash occurred, Bevacqua was practicing stalls and other training maneuvers when he lost control of the aircraft. Neither the flight instructor, Michelle Cavalotti, who also perished in the accident, or Emily Hurd, a passenger on board who sustained serious injuries, were named as defendants. According to an Oregonian report by Zane Sparling, family of student pilot who died in plane crash seeks $27 million from Hillsboro Flight School, Alaska Airlines. Bevacqua had enrolled in the Ascend Pilot Academy in January 2023 and then signed on with HAA that March, with the goal of accumulating 1,800 flight hours and certification. He received a $26,000 stipend from Alaska for the training and would be required to spend 2 years as a first officer for Horizon upon graduation. The Hillsboro Airport, out of which HAA operates, is owned by the Port of Portland. The ill-fated training aircraft that crashed into the Ferris's home departed from this airport at approximately 6:17 p.m. on October 3, 2023, before crashing 30 minutes later. HAA partners with Portland Community College's PCC Aviation Sciences program for the provision of classroom training. In 2022, Alaska Airlines donated a retired Q-400 Bombardier to PCC. Neither the port nor PCC were identified as defendants in the suit. Other recent aviation lawsuits: parents of student pilot killed in 2023. Crash Files, lawsuit: parents of 20-year-old student pilot Barrett Bevacqua, who died as a result of the October 3, 2023 crash, filed a $27 million lawsuit. The suit also named Alaska Airlines, Horizon, HAA, and APA as defendants. According to the judge's decision, tort liability for an airplane crash is a fact-bound inquiry that does not present a significant question of federal law. Concluding otherwise would upset the balance between state and federal courts that Congress intended under the FAA. She subsequently remanded the case to the Multnomah County Circuit Court. Partner of woman killed in 2024. Fairview, Oregon, Crash Files. Lawsuit, May 2025. The partner of a 75-year-old woman who died when an aircraft crashed into their shared home filed a lawsuit. On August 31, 2024, a Cessna Golden Eagle, shortly after taking off from the port-owned Troutdale Airport, crashed into a row of condominiums, ignited a fire, and destroyed the homes of at least 4 families. General aviation pilots continue to put community at risk. Despite these terrible tragedies, student and private pilots continue to engage in low-altitude, risky maneuvers, including low-speed stall practices, touch and goes, and other training activities over homes, neighborhoods, schools, daycare centers, places of worship, recreational areas, farmland, and waterways. Not only does this increase the risk of deadly accidents, it also subjects impacted residents to aviation's generated lead emissions, noise, and other carcinogenic pollutants. By Mickey Barnes, full article and links at OregonAviationWatch.org. Lawsuit filed on behalf of family whose house was destroyed by a training